Evening, and thank you for joining us. Let's get you caught up on tonight's biggest stories.
This is the evening news on ABC13, and we start off with some breaking news. In Northeast Harris County, deputies say an off-duty Houston police officer shot a robbery suspect at a Walmart. It
happened in the customer service area of the store. ABC13's Marla Carter spoke with a woman who saw it all happen just a few feet right in front of her.
That suspect went to the hospital and is listed in stable condition. This all unfolded around 2:40 this afternoon. That's when deputies say that the suspect walked inside of the Walmart with a gun and demanded money. He went up to customer service and attempted to rob the clerk there. Well, an off-duty Houston police officer happened to be in the store at the time and shot the suspect. The suspect, again, was taken to the hospital and is listed in stable condition. Investigators were able to recover a weapon. We talked to someone inside the store who works at the Walmart and saw and heard everything. She said it was terrifying.
Behind the customer service, it was like, give me the money, give me the money, give me the money. And and I started running, and then I heard shots fired, and I was telling people, get out, get out.
After the shooting, she immediately, number one, controlled the suspect, still had a firearm on him, and as soon as the scene was safe and rendered safe, she applied CPR to the suspect.
Deputies have not identified the suspect at this time. The Houston police officer is a 17-year veteran. Reporting from Northeast Harris County, Marla Carter, ABC13 Eyewitness News.
Marla, thanks. In other news, police still are looking for a suspect in connection with the brutal rape of a 19-year-old last month in Southwest Houston.
This comes as police are also investigating a pair of attacks on women at Memorial Park on Christmas Eve. ABC13's Deborah Wrigley explains what we know right now.
At this point, there's nothing to suggest those three assaults are connected, but the latest one happened here on Buffalo Speedway less than 2 weeks ago. It's always heavily traveled, and in fact, the victim told police that a driver paused, pulled over, and asked, "Is there anything wrong?" The suspect waved him off. She couldn't scream out for help because she was being choked. A few feet from a major street behind a lemon tree next to a home, a 19-year-old woman was beaten, sexually assaulted. This neighbor asked he not be identified.
Putting a force on a woman, it's every bit supposed to be bad and punish it.
It happened December 29th, 8:30 at night as she was walking home from a restaurant off the South Loop where she had dinner with her cousins. She was grabbed from behind, police say, beaten, kicked, choked, assaulted.
And then after that, he kicked her several times and took her property with him and left, headed back toward Main Street.
Detectives are retracing the route. The suspect, described as between 17 and 25 years old, wearing white jeans, a white T-shirt, may frequent South Main Street. There's also DNA that could identify him, but for now, it's unsolved, as are two other cases in Memorial Park. Last month, the female jogger was grabbed but managed to get away. The same night, a woman who had been drugged was found in the woods at the park. She had been assaulted and left there. These are believed to be unrelated to the Buffalo Speedway assault, but in each case, the advice remains the same.
Really just be aware of your surroundings. Don't take anything for granted.
Deborah Wrigley, ABC13 Eyewitness News.
Deborah, thanks. Turning now to weather. We've had some great weather, but that's all about to change.
Yes, and we could be looking at some severe conditions in a couple of days. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Travis Scott.
We don't want a storm, but our weather team when one threatens, and it does look like that will occur Friday evening into Friday night as the primary zone of focus for potentially severe thunderstorms. This map right here spotlights where we have the highest risk of seeing the most severe weather, and that's centered right along the Texas-Louisiana border. And this orange shade, which indicates numerous severe thunderstorms possible, extends southwestward all the way to the I-10 corridor and does include Houston and most of Harris County. We're looking at the possibility of 2 rounds of storms to develop. The first round could form in the afternoon. That's a lower chance of occurring, but there's a high confidence that a line of strong thunderstorms will develop near I-35 and then rumble through southeast Texas during the evening hours. And this map right here also includes what's called this hatched area. This comes from the Storm Prediction Center. It's a zone where we highlight the possibility of what's called significant severe weather. That means winds in excess of 70 miles per hour and the possibility of a few strong tornadoes. And that does include all of Houston Houston, Harris County, and areas north of I-10 eastward into Louisiana. Now, this zone is likely going to shift as we get a better handle on the storm environment once Friday gets here, but we definitely need to put you on notice that there's the possibility your plans will be altered by strong to severe thunderstorms. You'll feel the changes on Thursday. This evening, you'll notice outside it feels milder than it did yesterday. That's because of a strong Gulf breeze, which is going to keep our temperatures around the 60-degree mark to start the day. That strong southeasterly wind brings a few rain showers, a cloudy sky, and high temperatures up into the mid-70s. So while it was frosty and you needed your warm jacket and coat this morning, you probably will not need it tomorrow until this front passes by early on Saturday morning. So highs on Thursday generally in the 70s. The strong south wind will get even stronger on Friday as this powerful area of low pressure and cold front approach. That's the front that produces the line of strong thunderstorms that could produce some widespread damaging winds. Here's a look at future track, and it's pretty colorful because it's possible this is going to bring snow to the plains and then spring-like severe thunderstorms to our part of Texas. There's that first opportunity for storms in the afternoon, and then here comes the main line. As the main line rolls through, the primary concern is going to be those strong winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, though we can't rule out a few isolated tornadoes, nor can we rule out 1-inch hail. So your rain chance is pretty low Thursday, and for most of Friday, it's pretty low until we get to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Rain chance goes to 60% for that first potential round of strong thunderstorms, and then it's a 100% chance of thunderstorms at nighttime because a solid squall line should roll through. It goes through pretty quickly. The storms will be racing at about 50 miles per hour, so by sunrise Saturday, we've pretty much cleared out, and it's going to be colder and breezy. A strong northwest wind will develop during the day. Those winds will settle down on Sunday, dropping the temperature into the 30s in the morning. Your high hits 63, and chances of rain showers and even a few thunderstorms return after the weekend, but most of the weekend is looking dry once we get past the rough weather on Friday night.
Okay, Travis, thank you. Now to the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump says his administration will immediately impose new economic sanctions on Iran in response to the missile strikes on U.S. military bases in Iraq.
Now, this all comes as Governor Greg Abbott says the state has noticed an increase of attempted cyber attacks from Iran on state agencies. ABC 13's Tom Abrams spoke with local lawmakers about the tensions.
Well, the developments between the United States and Iran certainly seem to be moving quickly. The tension is palpable, whether it's from cyber attacks or actual physical attacks. The question now is, what will it take to de-escalate the tension? Minutes after President Donald Trump issued a stern but tempered statement about Iran, Republican Senator Ted Cruz told ABC 13 he was grateful no Americans were hurt in the Iranian-launched missile attacks, which targeted U.S. troops stationed in Iraq. He thinks President Trump's response in a White House statement this morning struck the right tone.
Look, I think given that we just took out Soleimani, I think we are in a strong position right now. I think that needs to be combined with continuing the sanctions we have in place.
The escalation in tensions between the two nations began more than a week ago when an Iranian-backed militia attacked the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. The U.S. responded with a drone attack that killed, among others, Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani. The rocket attack was promised retaliation for Soleimani's death.
And I'm grateful that last night with the rocket attack, it appears not to have escalated significantly. And I think that we may be seeing the effects of deterrence.
Support for the president has fallen mostly along partisan lines. Houston Congresswoman Democrat Sylvia Garcia has serious concerns despite a classified briefing about Iran today.
Do we really want to get involved in a war or in any kind of skirmish in the Middle East that's going to put more American lives, more American troops, more American diplomats in harm's way?
Also of potential concern, cyber threats from Iran after Governor Greg Abbott cited a litany of hacking attempts in Texas.
Does the average Houstonian need to worry about this? No.
Cybersecurity expert Chris Bronk from U of H says the average Texan has nothing to worry about, but governments and large companies certainly need to up their game.
If you're a large corporation and you haven't dusted off your cyber incident response plan and run an exercise, you should do it.
So now, will it be the United States or Iran that takes the next step to prevent this from getting worse? Reporting from downtown Houston, Tom Abrams, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
We're taking you into Southwest Houston, specifically the Galleria area for tonight's traffic tie-up or potential tie-up. US 59 ramp closures to be aware of, northbound and southbound to the West Loop southbound, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. This is happening each night through Friday morning. Your alternate is to use those feeder roads and use Westheimer as an alternate to get from Southwest Houston inside the loop toward the Galleria.
All right, and that's going to do it. Thank you for getting caught up with us tonight on the Evening News.
Be sure to join us tonight at 10 o'clock on ABC 13. Good night, friends.